cheap seats over there.
That's right.
Well, this is a special command performance of an old song called Abi Yoyo, commanded by none other than Adam Lustig. So for the benefit of Adam and his family, I'll now tell you the story of Abi Yoyo. Turns out that once upon a time, there was a little boy and his big dad. Little boy, big dad. And little boy played the ukulele. And he played it really loud and kind of crazy. And it made all the people in the town kind of nuts. And the people in the town couldn't stand to hear this ukulele. They'd put their hands over their ears and say, "Shh, be quiet, that sounds terrible." Now the dad had a magic wand. And the dad could make anything disappear with his magic wand. He'd take his magic wand and he'd go zip, zip, zip. And that would disappear, whatever it was. If you were drinking a glass of water and you bring the water up to your lips, he'd go zip, 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 and the glass would disappear and the water would fall all down on your lap. If you were getting ready to sit down on a chair, the dad would go zip, 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 and the chair would disappear and you'd fall right down on your tushy. So between the little boy who played the ukulele and the dad who walked around going zip, zip, zip all the time, the people in the town didn't like these two. Finally one day they had enough, and they told the little boy and his father, "Go! You must leave the town now." And they wouldn't let them live in town anymore. So the little boy and his ukulele and the dad and his magic wand, they left town. They were very sad. And they went to live in a house way off on the side of town, way over on the edge of town. The townspeople were pretty happy about all this, though, because finally they had gotten rid of the little boy and his loud ukulele and the dad and his annoying habit of making everything disappear. So, one day the townspeople, this was May 1st, were celebrating May Festival in the town square, and they were out and they were singing and dancing and having a good time, and food was being prepared. And somewhere in the middle of the day, they could hear this noise, very faint in the distance. They didn't know what it was, so they just ignored it. And then pretty soon, the noise got louder. I'll pretend like my audience is still over here. And it got louder. Pretty soon the townspeople got a little bit worried. And they were looking all around trying to figure out where this noise was coming from. And pretty soon with the noise, the ground was starting to shake too. Boom, boom, boom. And they got very frightened and they looked over to the mountains, and over the top of the mountains they saw this top of a forehead come up over the mountains. They went, "Oh my God, look over there!" And sure enough, they saw the whole head of a giant come over the tops of the mountains. And he was walking, and that was the sound of the giant walking. Well, the townspeople got very frightened. They'd never seen a giant so large before. Pretty soon his whole body was on top of the mountains, and he was huge. He was this big old monster, and he came stepping over the mountain. Boom, boom, boom. And he was big, and he was gnarly and hungry. He was so hungry that he saw this whole flock of sheep down there, and he picked up one whole sheep and put it in his mouth, and he just ate the whole sheep. He was still hungry after that, so he saw a cow over here. He picked up the big old cow, and he just put the cow in his mouth. And he kept walking straight towards the town. And he got so hungry he needed to have some vegetables, so here was a redwood tree. He just picked up the redwood tree out of the ground and just ate the whole redwood tree. The townspeople were freaking out. They all got scared. They ran back into their houses. Well, the little boy and his dad were in their house. They weren't invited to the festivities, so they weren't even aware that all the townspeople were scared about anything. They heard the noise too, and they were scared, but they didn't know what it was. Now, Abi Yoyo's in town, and he's crushing big old buildings and statues and whatnot. People are running out of the buildings, and they're trying to get away from Abi Yoyo. And pretty soon, the boy looks out the window with his dad and says, Dad, I have an idea. do you think you could make Abi Yoyo disappear? The dad said, well, I think I can, but he's just so big I can't get my magic wand over him. The boy says, I have an idea. Let's go, Dad. So he grabs his ukulele, and the dad gets his magic wand, and they go running to town from their house. Well, Abi Yoyo's just demolishing everything. It's making a mess around there. And the little boy has this idea. So he goes running. Listen, Adam, he goes he goes running up to the monster, and he looks up at the monster like this, and he's got his ukulele, and he starts singing very softly. And he sings, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, yo 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 yo, Abi Yoyo, yo yo yo. The little boy was scared, and he was singing this song, hoping the monster would like him. The monster looks down at at the little boy, and he says, But he's not hurting the little boy. He's not hurting his dad, who's standing off by the side. So he gets a little braver, and he sings a little bit louder this time. And you know what? If you want, you can even sing it with me. Ready? Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, yo 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 yo, Abi Yoyo, yo 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 yo. Pretty soon that monster wasn't looking mad anymore. He was looking kind of interested. In fact, he was even smiling a little bit. Big old monster smile like this. So he sings louder. Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, yo 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 yo. And then you know what? Pretty soon this monster, who'd never ever heard a song sung about him before, he starts singing along too, and it sounds like this. Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, yo 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 yo, Abi Yoyo, yo 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 yo. And you know what? That monster wasn't just happy enough to start singing. He wanted to dance too. So he's singing and he's dancing, and the boy's singing and the dad's singing, and a couple people are looking out their houses and they're singing too. And it goes like this: Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, yo 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 yo, Abi Yoyo, yo 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 yo. Well, this monster's dancing and he's singing and he's getting tired, but he's still singing Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, Abi Yoyo, yo yo yo, Abi Yoyo, yo 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 yo. Well, this monster started getting tired. He went down on one knee, then he went down on the other knee, and then he laid all the way down. He went on the ground, and he fell asleep. Right then, the dad came up with the magic wand, and he went zoop, zoop, zoop. And that big old monster disappeared. And all the people in the town came running out of their houses, and they're going, yay, hooray for the little boy and his dad with the magic wand. Let's welcome them back into town and let them live here again. And they all started cheering wildly, and that, boys and girls, Adam Lustig, et al., is the end of the story about Abi Yoyo. Thank you very much. Yay! No, there you go, Adam.